Close your eyes for a moment and think about the one thing that almost every human being is searching for. Some search for it through wealth, some search for it through success, some search for it through relationships, achievements, possessions, or recognition. Yet despite all these pursuits, countless people still feel restless, anxious, and empty inside. What they are truly searching for is inner peace. Many people believe peace is something they will find one day in the future. They tell themselves, when I earn more money, I will finally be at peace. When I achieve my goals, I will finally be happy. When my problems disappear, then I will relax. But life has a way of proving that every achievement creates another challenge, every destination reveals another road, and every solved problem is replaced by a new one. If peace depends on perfect circumstances, then peace will always remain out of reach. The greatest mistake we make is searching outside for something that can only be created within. Inner peace does not come from controlling the world around you. It comes from mastering the world inside you. The first step toward inner peace is accepting reality. Much of our suffering comes from arguing with life. We resist change, complain about circumstances, and replay painful events in our minds over and over again. We wish the past were different. We wish people behaved differently. We wish life followed our plans. But reality does not change because we refuse to accept it. The moment you stop fighting what already exists, a heavy burden begins to lift from your shoulders. Acceptance does not mean weakness. Acceptance means seeing clearly. It means acknowledging what is happening so you can respond wisely instead of reacting emotionally. The second step is learning to master your mind. Most people are controlled by their thoughts without even realizing it. A single negative thought can ruin an entire day. A fear about the future can steal the joy of the present moment. A painful memory can dominate years of a person's life. Your mind is a powerful tool, but it should never become your master. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every fear deserves your belief. Thoughts come and go like clouds passing through the sky. The more you observe them without becoming attached to them, the more freedom you gain. Peace begins when you realize that you are not every thought that enters your mind. Another important lesson is learning to live in the present moment. Most people spend their lives trapped between the past and the future. They regret what has already happened and worry about what has not happened yet. Meanwhile, they completely miss the life unfolding right in front of them. The present moment is the only place where life exists. Yesterday is a memory. Tomorrow is a possibility. Today is reality. When you fully experience the present moment, many of your worries lose their power. You discover that life is often far less frightening than the stories your mind creates. Inner peace also requires letting go of what you cannot control. Many people exhaust themselves trying to control outcomes, circumstances, and other people. They worry endlessly about things beyond their influence. But there is a simple truth that changes everything. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You cannot control the weather, but you can choose your attitude. You cannot control the actions of others, but you can choose your own behavior. You cannot control every outcome, but you can control your effort. The moment you stop carrying responsibilities that were never yours to carry, your mind becomes lighter. Silence is another powerful teacher. In a world filled with endless noise and distractions, many people have forgotten how to be still. They fear silence because silence forces them to face themselves. Yet some of the greatest discoveries in life happen when everything becomes quiet. In silence, you hear your thoughts more clearly. In stillness, you understand your emotions more deeply. In quiet moments, wisdom often emerges naturally. Peace is not always found through doing more. Sometimes it is found through doing less. And finally, practice gratitude every single day. The mind naturally focuses on what is missing, what is wrong, and what could be better. Gratitude shifts your attention toward what is already present. It reminds you of the blessings that have become invisible through familiarity. The more grateful you become, the less room there is for resentment, envy, and dissatisfaction. A grateful heart sees abundance where others see scarcity. My friends, inner peace is not the absence of problems. It is the ability to remain calm in the middle of them. It is not a destination waiting at the end of your journey. It is a way of traveling through life. It is the strength to accept what you cannot change, the courage to change what you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. The world around you may remain unpredictable. Challenges will come, difficulties will appear, people will disappoint you. Plans will fail. Life will continue to change. But when you learn to accept reality, master your mind, live in the present moment, let go of what you cannot control, embrace silence, and practice gratitude, you discover a peace that circumstances cannot take away. And when that happens, you stop searching for peace because you realize it was within you all along. One of the greatest causes of suffering in human life is the constant struggle against reality. Many people spend years wishing things were different. They wish the past had never happened. They wish people would behave according to their expectations. And they wish life would always unfold exactly as they planned. This resistance creates frustration, anger, disappointment, and emotional exhaustion. The more we fight against what already exists, the more power we give to our pain. Reality does not change because we dislike it. A difficult situation remains difficult, whether we complain about it or not. A mistake from the past cannot be erased by replaying it 1,000 times in our minds. The actions of others cannot always be controlled, no matter how strongly we desire different outcomes. Yet, many people continue to invest enormous amounts of energy trying to change things that are already beyond their influence. This creates an endless cycle of stress and dissatisfaction. Acceptance is often misunderstood. Many believe that accepting reality means giving up, becoming passive, or refusing to improve their circumstances. In truth, acceptance is the opposite of weakness. It is the courage to see life clearly without distortion. It is the willingness to acknowledge what is happening right now instead of hiding from it. Only when we accept reality can we respond to it effectively. A person who denies a problem cannot solve it. A person who refuses to acknowledge pain cannot heal from it. When we stop fighting reality, we free ourselves from unnecessary emotional burdens. We begin to separate facts from the stories we create in our minds. The fact may be that a plan failed, but the story says, "My life is ruined." The fact may be that someone rejected us, but the story says, "I am not good enough." Much of our suffering comes not from reality itself, but from the meaning we attach to it. By observing situations without immediately judging them, we create space for clarity and wisdom. Life becomes lighter when we stop demanding that everything happen according to our expectations. Challenges become lessons rather than punishments. Delays become opportunities for patience. Failures become chances for growth. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we begin asking, "What can this teach me?" This shift transforms our relationship with adversity. We stop seeing ourselves as victims of circumstances and start becoming students of life, learning from every experience, whether pleasant or painful, while conserving our energy for actions that can genuinely create positive change, the human mind is one of the most powerful forces in existence. It can inspire extraordinary achievements, create beautiful ideas, and help us overcome tremendous obstacles. Yet the same mind can also generate fear, anxiety, self-doubt, and endless suffering. For many people, the greatest battles of life do not take place in the outside world, but within their own thoughts. A person may have everything they need to be content, yet still feel trapped because their mind is constantly creating worries, comparisons, and negative assumptions. Most people spend their lives reacting automatically to every thought that appears in their minds. If a fearful thought arises, they immediately believe it. If a negative memory appears, they become absorbed in it. If a criticism enters their awareness, they replay it repeatedly. Over time, this habit gives thoughts tremendous control over emotions, decisions, and behavior. Instead of directing the mind, people become directed by it. Mastering the mind begins with understanding a simple truth. Not every thought deserves attention. The mind produces thousands of thoughts each day, many of which are repetitive, inaccurate, or unnecessary. Just because a thought appears does not mean it is true. A thought is merely a mental event. It comes, stays for a moment, and then passes away. Problems arise when we attach ourselves to every thought and treat it as reality. Developing awareness is essential for gaining control over the mind. When you observe your thoughts without immediately reacting to them, you create distance between yourself and your mental activity. Instead of saying, "I am anxious," you begin to notice, "I am experiencing anxious thoughts." This small shift changes everything. You stop identifying completely with what the mind is producing and start seeing thoughts as temporary experiences rather than permanent truths. The mind also becomes stronger when it is trained to focus on the present moment. Much of human suffering comes from dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. The mind constantly travels to places where problems either already happened or have not happened yet. Bringing attention back to the present interrupts this cycle and allows greater clarity. In the present moment, many imagined fears lose their power. Discipline plays a crucial role in mental mastery. Just as the body becomes stronger through regular exercise, the mind becomes stronger through consistent practice. Choosing constructive thoughts, limiting unnecessary distractions, and maintaining awareness of mental habits gradually build greater control. Over time, the mind shifts from being a source of constant conflict to becoming a reliable tool that supports wisdom, focus, resilience, and emotional balance in every area of life. Many people spend their lives physically present in one place, while their minds are somewhere else. They revisit painful memories from years ago, replay conversations they wish had gone differently, and carry regrets that can no longer be changed. At the same time, they worry about future events that may never happen, imagining countless problems and uncertainties. As a result, they miss the only moment that truly belongs to them, the present. The present moment is where life actually happens. The past exists only as memory, and the future exists only as imagination. Yet countless people sacrifice their peace by giving most of their attention to these mental constructions. They become trapped between what has already happened and what might happen, rarely experiencing what is happening right now. This constant mental movement creates stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. Living in the present moment does not mean ignoring the future or forgetting the past. The past can teach valuable lessons, and planning for the future is often necessary. The problem arises when memories and expectations dominate our awareness. When this happens, we lose touch with reality and become disconnected from the experiences unfolding before us. We may sit with family while thinking about work, work while thinking about past mistakes, and pursue goals while forgetting to appreciate the journey itself. The mind naturally seeks distractions. It jumps from one thought to another, constantly searching for something to analyze, solve, or worry about. Learning to bring attention back to the present requires practice and patience. Simple actions such as focusing on your breathing, listening carefully during conversations, or paying attention to your surroundings help anchor the mind in the current moment. These small acts of awareness gradually strengthen your ability to remain present. When you are fully present, ordinary experiences become richer and more meaningful. A meal becomes something to enjoy rather than something to rush through. A conversation becomes an opportunity for genuine connection rather than a distraction from your thoughts. Even simple moments of silence can bring a sense of calm and clarity that is often overlooked in a busy life. Many worries lose their power when examined in the present moment. The mind often creates fear by imagining future scenarios or dwelling on past difficulties. However, when attention returns to what is happening right now, it becomes clear that many of these concerns exist only in thought. The present moment often contains far less danger and difficulty than the stories created by the mind. By repeatedly returning your awareness to the present, you develop a deeper appreciation for life as it unfolds. Instead of constantly waiting for a better future or wishing for a different past, you begin to engage fully with the reality that is already here, discovering peace, clarity, and fulfillment within. The moments that make up your everyday existence, a significant amount of human suffering, comes from trying to control things that are beyond our influence. People often spend countless hours worrying about the opinions of others, the outcomes of future events, unexpected changes, and circumstances they cannot alter. This desire for control may seem natural, but when it extends beyond what is realistically possible, it becomes a source of frustration, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion. Life is filled with uncertainty. No matter how carefully we plan, there will always be factors outside our control. Other people will make their own decisions, opportunities may appear or disappear unexpectedly, and circumstances can change without warning. Many individuals struggle against these realities because they believe peace will come only when everything unfolds exactly as they want. However, life rarely follows a perfect script. The more tightly we cling to the need for certainty, the more disappointed we become when reality takes a different path. Letting go does not mean becoming careless or abandoning responsibility. It means recognizing the difference between what you can influence and what you cannot. You can control your actions, your effort, your attitude, and the choices you make each day. You cannot control every result, every reaction from others, or every event that occurs around you. Wisdom begins when you stop investing energy in battles that cannot be won, and redirect that energy toward areas where your actions can make a meaningful difference. Many people carry emotional burdens because they constantly replay situations that are already beyond their reach. They dwell on mistakes they cannot undo, conversations they cannot revisit, and outcomes they cannot change. This habit traps them in a cycle of regret and helplessness. While reflection can be useful for learning, repeatedly reliving the past serves no constructive purpose. Accepting what has happened allows you to focus on what can still be done in the present. Fear of the future is another common struggle. The mind often creates endless scenarios about what might go wrong, convincing people to worry about events that may never occur. This constant anticipation drains emotional energy and prevents them from fully engaging with the present moment. By accepting uncertainty as a natural part of life, it becomes easier to approach the future with flexibility rather than fear. When you release the need to control everything, you create space for greater peace and resilience. Unexpected challenges no longer feel like personal attacks. Delays become opportunities to practice patience. Difficult people become reminders that not everything is within your power to change. Instead of fighting reality at every turn, you learn to adapt, respond wisely, and move forward with confidence. Your focus shifts away from uncontrollable outcomes and toward purposeful action, allowing you to conserve your strength for the things that truly matter and deserve your attention. Modern life is filled with constant noise. From the moment people wake up, they are surrounded by notifications, conversations, entertainment, news, and endless streams of information. Many have become so accustomed to this constant stimulation that silence feels uncomfortable. Whenever a quiet moment appears, they immediately reach for a device, turn on music, or seek another distraction. As a result, they rarely give themselves the opportunity to experience the benefits of true stillness. Silence is often misunderstood. Many people think it is simply the absence of sound, but silence offers something much deeper. It creates a space where the mind can slow down and where awareness can become clearer. In silence, distractions lose some of their influence, making it easier to observe thoughts, emotions, and patterns that usually remain hidden beneath the noise of daily life. What often feels uncomfortable at first can become one of the most valuable experiences for personal growth. Stillness allows us to reconnect with ourselves. When life becomes busy, it is easy to move from one task to another without ever reflecting on how we truly feel. People can spend months or even years pursuing goals, meeting responsibilities, and responding to demands without pausing long enough to examine their inner world. Silence provides an opportunity to step away from external pressures and listen to what is happening within. It reveals worries that need attention, emotions that need understanding, and insights that might otherwise go unnoticed. Many of the answers people seek are not found through more activity, but through greater awareness. Constant movement can create the illusion of progress, yet clarity often emerges when we become still. During moments of quiet reflection, problems that once seemed overwhelming can appear more manageable. Decisions become clearer because the mind is no longer crowded by endless distractions. Creativity also flourishes in silence, as new ideas have room to emerge without interruption. Stillness teaches patience as well. In a culture that values speed and instant results, many people struggle with simply being present. They feel the need to constantly do something, achieve something, or move toward the next objective. Learning to sit quietly, observe the breath, and remain present without seeking immediate stimulation strengthens mental discipline and emotional balance. Silence also helps reduce the influence of unnecessary mental noise. The mind is constantly producing thoughts, many of which are repetitive and unhelpful. When we spend time in stillness, we begin to notice these thoughts without becoming consumed by them. This awareness creates distance between ourselves and our mental chatter, allowing greater calm and perspective. By regularly embracing silence and stillness, we create a refuge from the demands of the outside world. In that quiet space, the mind becomes clearer, the heart becomes lighter, and a deeper sense of peace gradually begins to emerge from within. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful practices for creating a peaceful and fulfilling life. Many people spend their days focusing on what they lack, what went wrong, or what they still need to achieve before they can feel satisfied. Their attention is constantly directed toward problems disappointments, and unmet expectations. Over time, this habit creates a mindset of scarcity, making it difficult to appreciate the good things that already exist in their lives. Gratitude shifts this perspective by encouraging us to recognize and value what we already have. The human mind has a natural tendency to focus on potential threats and problems. This tendency helped our ancestors survive, but in modern life, it often causes people to overlook countless blessings. A person may have supportive relationships, good health, opportunities for growth, and access to basic necessities, yet still feel unhappy because their attention remains fixed on what is missing. Gratitude helps balance this tendency by training the mind to notice positive aspects of life that are often taken for granted. Practicing gratitude does not mean ignoring challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. Every person faces difficulties, setbacks, and moments of pain. Gratitude simply means choosing not to let those difficulties become the only focus of attention. It allows us to acknowledge hardships while also recognizing the strengths, resources, and opportunities that remain available. This balanced perspective creates greater emotional resilience and helps people navigate adversity with a calmer mindset. Small moments often become more meaningful when viewed through the lens of gratitude. A conversation with a loved one, a warm meal, a peaceful morning, or the opportunity to learn something new can easily be overlooked during a busy day. Yet these simple experiences contribute significantly to the quality of life. Gratitude encourages us to slow down and appreciate these moments instead of constantly rushing toward the next goal or achievement. The practice of gratitude also improves relationships. When people focus on the positive qualities of others and express appreciation for their efforts, connections become stronger and more meaningful. Appreciation fosters trust, kindness, and mutual respect. It shifts attention away from constant criticism and toward recognition of the value that others bring into our lives. Gratitude influences the way we interpret our experiences. Instead of seeing every obstacle as a burden, we begin to recognize opportunities for learning and growth. Instead of comparing ourselves endlessly to others, we develop greater appreciation for our own journey. This change in perspective reduces feelings of envy and dissatisfaction while increasing contentment and inner stability. When gratitude becomes a daily habit, it gradually transforms the way we experience life. The mind becomes more attentive to opportunities rather than limitations, more aware of abundance rather than scarcity, and more capable of finding meaning and value in the ordinary moments that often pass unnoticed throughout each day.